Good evening. My name is Tyler Bisbee. Happy 4th of July. I'm with Brandman University. This is EDAD 602, and this is Reflection Journal number 1. And so tonight I'll be answering some questions in regards to what I'm hoping to get out of this class, looking at some of the learning outcomes that are going to be a part of the syllabus in this class, also looking at questions that I might have in regards to the assignments that we have for this class, and then lastly, just experiences are that might help me contribute to the learning community in this course. So moving forward, looking at learning outcomes in the syllabus for this course, we're learning a lot about data, finding data, and how we could utilize data to help us with some of these everyday situations that we run into with the school, or data that we can find over the course of a year, over the course of a couple of years, right? Our vision is going to be super important when we're looking at this. What are my plans for my school? What are my plans in the future of my school, right? And so when we're looking at some of these learning outcomes, I think about data like what we've talked about in our meeting, attendance, right? What kids are showing up to school, what kids are showing up on time, which ones are tardy, which ones are truant. From there, looking at different kinds of data that might show how kids are doing in the school, right? Working with a non-traditional school like I do at Chaparral High School, and especially as a career technical educator, data is really important. I get funding based off of my data. And so looking at what kids finish my program, what kids finish the sequencing of my program, right? MedCore 1, MedCore 2, finishing out the program, earning college credits through that course. Super important to get that data. That data allows me to do things like give credits to my local community college that I'm articulated with. It allows me to give medallions and things at the graduation that kids can wear while they're walking, which is important to a lot of these kids. It's also important to show data like things like where jobs are opening in the career sector that I am trying to push my kids towards. So what jobs are available? How many of my kids are going to work into those jobs? My CTE type thing really works hard on, do we have students that are in areas where they're not normally at, right? So if we have a lot of women in nursing, are we getting students that are male going into like nursing type classes? If we have fire tech type classes, do we have more women going into fire tech versus boys, right? And so some of that data is really important to make sure that these job roles are being filled and that everybody's getting a chance, right? So that kind of is how I'm looking at the course objectives. How am I going to find this data? Where am I going to get this data? And then how am I going to utilize this data and make sure that I'm using accurate data? Next, we're looking at some of the assignments that we have over here on Blackboard. And I think one that really has me a little concerned is clinical practice number 3. And when we're looking at clinical practice number 3, what we're looking at is our school growth plan. Over our meeting, I was listening, and this is something I need to reach out for. I have 3 admins at my school campus, and I have roughly about 7 teachers on our campus because, again, we're a non-traditional school. And so we roughly have about 200 students. I teach 150 to 160 of those students every year. With that being said, looking for a mentor that's going to be kind of helping me out through this program at my school is going to be a little bit difficult. I have 3 that I can choose from, but my principal runs about 4 schools within this non-traditional setting. He runs adult ed, he runs the non-traditional Chaparral High School, which is our credit recovery school where I'm at, and then we also have Eagle Summit, which is going to be more of our continuation school for kids that have been expelled for drugs and fighting and that kind of stuff. And then he also runs Summit. I'm sorry, not Summit, Snowline Academy, which is our online system, which is where kids go for homeschooling and stuff like that. And so they can either come on campus to run their online programs only, or they can work from home with those programs. And so it has them extremely busy. From there, my CTE director just left our district, and so she's going to be looking for a replacement, and I don't know who that is yet. I have our dean of discipline that I might possibly be able to go to, and I also have my vice principal that I might be able to go to. Leadership at our school, though, is kind of in a position right now where teachers and admin are not doing very well, and so I'm a little bit nervous about how that's going to work. And it might be good. It might be good for me to get into that kind of transition and have a mentor where I can understand what the office is doing, what admin is doing versus what we're doing in the teaching field, and then maybe pass that along to other teachers so that we're all on the same page. The problem is there's not good communication. And communication is key to everything. And so when we're talking about growth plan, that's something that I'm going to look more into, and then I'm going to reach out for help on that because I'm a little bit nervous because of the amount of teachers that we have and admin staff. From there, we're working our way into what am I hoping to get out of this program? And so data driven, right? This is what we're looking at. Statistics and things have not been my strong suit. In my bachelor's degree program, not real good with it, and then even within my like associate's degree program, I was just not real strong in statistics, finding data and things like that. And so I'm hoping that in this program, I'm going to be able to learn how to find that data, how to distinguish good data versus bad data, like we were talking about in our meeting. So data is important to everything. So understanding what is going to be the most important stuff that I'm trying to take, and what I'm going to be able to push towards my vision and my mission for if I were running my school, right? And so I want to make sure that I know how to find that data, and make sure that more importantly is that students are being taken care of, and that we're finding data that's going to help enrich these students' lives. I'm not happy with California educational system, and I'm here because I want to see the changes that need to be made within our educational processes so that these students can become more successful in classes. California is just not at the top of the list anymore, and it hasn't been for a long time. So what are we going to do to make them successful? And then lastly, in this, we have what experiences or expertise do I have that can help contribute to the learning community? Again, I don't have a lot of expertise. Most of my expertise comes from working CTE and doing everything by myself on this campus. My director of career technical education is non-existent. She primarily spends all of our funding on the main traditional high school. She never checks in on me, never does much for me. And so I've learned how to run my class, how to run my class with what I have, and how to figure out how to make these kids successful with very little leadership. And so my goal is to take that and make myself a better leader in the future, so that if I get into a role where I'm taking care of career technical education, or I'm working as a vice principal somewhere, that I know how to work with my teachers, and I know how to just know how to communicate and make sure people are taken care of, and so that the kids can be taken care of at the end of the day. And so again, being on my own, I've learned how to manage my classroom on my own. I've learned how to work with these kids on my own. I've learned how to do as much as I can with as little as possible, something I've always done. And so I find that that's super important, and it might help me in the future as we start looking at how am I going to be a better leader, and how can I show that expertise in these learning environments or this learning community in this course. And so I hope that this was a decent video recording, and I hope I touched everything the best that I can. I'm still learning, and I'm hoping to learn a ton more as we progress. And I'm hoping that through these video lectures, or through these recordings, like last class, I can watch myself improve as we move forward, and just watch my knowledge base expand exponentially, right? And so I really appreciate your time, and I thank you so much for it. Have a happy 4th of July, and be safe. Thank you.